guys, Matt from Mr. Matt's Arcade here. Today I'm going to show you a couple of things for the Alpha Max 3D game board. Um, this is what I call version 2. A while ago they updated the PCB or the processor to a RK3566 processor. And then just in this year, 2025, they updated both the firmware and the software. Couple of the new updates. The board now displays in 1080p instead of 720p. The favorites list and recently played games both stay after power off again. And the favorites list now has no limit. Before it was limited to about 50, I believe. They added a feature where you can hide all but one game and have it auto boot into that game. They updated / changed some of the RetroArch cores, and they added a new setting in the settings menu to make it easy to switch from your gamepads being either players 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. And again, as far as gamepads go, unfortunately this board has really poor compatibility. So far I've only found them to be fully compatible with the USB gamepad sold by the manufacturer. I carry the AlphaMax game board on my website, mrmattsarcade.com, and I also carry some accessories as well, including compatible USB game controllers. And now I'm carrying single controllers. Before, the only ones I had were double that were linked together, but now I sell individual ones. And another new thing about my website, I now offer international shipping, flat rate shipping, $18 for international, and you can order directly through my website. Delivery time is about 1 to 3 weeks, depending on your country. USA shipping is less expensive and ships by priority mail. Another new thing I'm carrying is a new 3 and 4 player wire harness and USB encoder that's compatible with the AlphaMax game board. So you can check that out on my website, and it's also compatible with PC computers as well. And the harness is a family version harness. So it actually come in handy if you ever want to upgrade your Pandora's Box family version to a PC. This wire harness could be used to do that. So the couple of things I wanted to show you is with the new 2025 firmware, there was a issue with Atari 2600 games not working. So luckily a customer brought that up to me, and I reached out to the manufacturer, and they fixed it and sent me some files to copy to the SD card to fix Atari 2600 games, make those work properly again, as well as add back in keyboard support. So for mame2003, you can plug in a keyboard and hit tab and bring up the in-game main menu. And it also fixed a couple of issues with some of the mame2003 config files or high score files not saving properly. So you'll find a link in the description. It's called repair.zip. So you want to download that to your desktop, and then go ahead and unzip it. And in that you'll find 2 folders and several files. So we have retrolib. If we open that one up, there's a new mame2003 core that fixes a couple of the issues with mame2003. In the RetroArch folder and config, Stella, which is the Atari 2600 emulator, there's a new option file. There's this DIS mode file, WMUI file. I'm not actually sure if those are used because the WMUI file currently on the SD card is stored in a different location. And there is a new test file, which is actually a RetroArch emulator. Still not sure why they named it test. But anyways, So you would just highlight, right click, and copy. And then you want to remove your SD card and put it into an SD card reader into your computer. So let's open that up. So here is what your SD card file structure will look like. So we're going to do a couple of things first before copying over the files. If you've already made a backup of your SD card, you don't have to do this step here. But if you haven't made a backup, it's a good idea to do these next two things just to be safe. So one is we're going to go to the test file, right click, rename, and period.org. I do that for original. You could do test.backup, whatever you want, just rename it. And then let's go to RetroLib. This is where all of your RetroArch cores are. Let's find the mame2003. Right here. Right click, rename .org. Yes. All right, now go back to the root of your SD card. Right click somewhere, do paste, and it should copy over the new files. If you didn't rename those two files I showed you, then it would ask you if you want to overwrite them, and you can just say yes if you've already made a backup. Otherwise, do the renaming first, just in case if something went wrong, you could go back and switch back to the original files. So that's it. That's a nice and simple, easy way to apply the repair fix that the manufacturer provided, which should fix Atari 2600 games and a couple of issues with mame2003. So there's one more thing I wanted to show you while I'm here. As you've seen with the other versions of the game board, I have supplied a new games.db file, the database file, with upgraded game names to include system suffixes. So I went ahead and made a new one for the new version of the software. So I'm going to open that up for you. You'll also find a link for that in the description. So I'll take a look to show you what I added. Browse data, table en, which again is your display name. And as you can see, I've added the suffix after each game, the system suffix. So PSP, arcade, etc., etc. I like having the system suffixes because it makes it easier to know which system the game belongs to when you're scrolling through your games list. I'm going to show you one other thing in here. If you wanted to add games to the system, the methods I've shown in my other videos pretty much still apply. There is a couple of changes, and I'm going to show you right now. So table en is the same, en match, which is your search name, is the same. Let's go over to table game. So it looks pretty much the same in here, but they've made a couple of changes. So these columns in the top so far are all the same as the other ones: game ID, game, suffix, video ID, class type, game type, hard, path, mode, category, favorites, visibility, lives, vertical, coin time, player's coin, hide save state, DLF path. And here's where it changes. So there is a new column called CMD. I have no idea what this new one does. And there's also a new column called HIS, which I believe is history, because with the new firmware, the recently played games and favorites now stay after power off, and there is no limit to them. So I believe the history column is for your recently played games. And then it removed a couple of columns. But overall, adding the games should be pretty much the same. In the command and history, I would just put a 0 in each one. and fill out all the other columns like I did in my previous videos. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out and right click, games database, copy. Let's open back up the SD card. Go into the Reds folder, find the games.db file, right click, rename, .org, .backup, .whatever. Yes, you want to change the name. Then right click and paste your new file. And then if we eject the SD card and put it back into our system, now you'll have the updated games database as well as the repair files fixes. So there you go, guys. There's a couple of things for the new AlphaMax 3D Game Board 2025 firmware. Stay tuned because I'll be releasing some more videos to go over some other things you can add and do with the new game board. As always, thanks for watching, and game on, my friends. Hey guys, one more thing I wanted to show you on the new 2025 firmware. Let's open up your SD card again. Let's go to RetroArch. Nope, wrong one. Try again. Res and sound. So if you've noticed on the new game board, they now have a scrolling sound for when you go up or down and a scrolling sound for going page by page. I find them kind of annoying. So here is an easy way you can replace them if you want to get rid of one or both of the sounds. I got rid of on my own, the sound of switching pages, but I kept the up and down sound. But I'll show you how to replace these files with blank ones to remove those sounds if they annoy you. So it's pretty simple. We'll start with page. There's page.snd and page.wave. Same process as before. Rename. .whatever. Yes, rename. And keeping those as backups in case you ever want to switch back or in case something messes up. And then we'll do right click, new text file, and we will name it page. Get rid of the .txt, change it to snd, hit enter, yes. New text file, pag, get rid of the txt, change it to wav. And now we've just created blank sounds. So now when you start your game board up again, you'll no longer have the page sound. You can do the same exact thing for the up and down one. All right, short and sweet. Just wanted to show you guys another thing you can do with the game board. Thanks again for watching, guys. Game on, my friends.